Tim Burt is an advertising consultant. He joins us now. Hello, Tim.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's good to have you on. So you looked at the Super Bowl last night. Which one jumped out at you as being perhaps the best commercial?
The absolute winner that came out of nowhere was Radio Shack.
Yep.
That was a great ad.
I don't think anybody anticipated them being on. In fact, I didn't even know they bought time. And to completely reinvent and reimagine the store by using a metaphor of all these 80s stars coming in and completely tearing out the store.
The whole premise was the 80s have called, they want their store back, and then so you see all of these icons of the 1980s actually showing up in the ad to dismantle the store.
Yeah, if I only have one technical critique of that ad, I think they let the 80s bit where all the stars came in, I think they let that go on a little too long. Because my question is, who are they really going after? Is it Best Buy Mobile? Who's their real competition here? I mean, it's one thing for people to want to go in and see what the new Radio Shack is, but who are they really going after?
Yeah, but
overall, that's a home run.
If their intention was to sort of confront their image problems head on and say, "Hey, we're not what you thought we were anymore," it was a brilliant way to do it.
Absolutely.
In general, with these ads, is the goal to have people talking the next day? Is that enough, or do they actually have to deliver something more than that?
Sadly, I think that's what the overriding factor is we want people talking about our ads. Well, great, but does that translate to sales? 80% of all Super Bowl ads in a recent study do not do anything to move sales, to bump the sales needle. That, to me, is an absolute shame and a problem. Radio Shack absolutely confronted that head-on last night. So did SodaStream and GoDaddy. Those were my three big winners last night. The SodaStream thing, the controversy surrounding that, if you knew about it going in,
maybe
that was just a refresher. GoDaddy, finally, they don't rely on sex to sell. It was very refreshing, and they do one of the things that I preach is you have to advertise the outcome of using your good product or service. In this case, it was a woman who runs a tanning salon, and she wants a bunch of bodybuilders to show up to get tan. and
all right,
by using GoDaddy, there you go.
What about this one?
I think I like this little guy.
I love this one.
You know, you could always compromise and breed them together. Dobra Wawa.
The Dober Wawa, which is really a visual commercial where you got a big head on a little dog body and chaos ensues. I thought pretty funny. I watched it. I laughed. What did you think?
Does it make you want to buy an Audi?
You know, that was the thing. The connection at the end was a little.
I was just going to say, what was it for? I couldn't even tell you what the product was.
Well, we don't.
The problem is I own an Audi. I love Audi. Okay, I gave them a D, not an F, because I simply own their cars. Here's the problem. That could have been for any car. That could have been for any product. The connection between the mutant dog, and Audi is tenuous at best.
Yeah. And also, why do you want your car compared to a mutant dog? That's sort of.
Exactly.
I don't know if you'd want that. You mentioned SodaStream, and just to bring everyone up to speed, if they don't know the controversy, actress Scarlett Johansson was hired to promote SodaStream. SodaStream is that product where you can make your own soda. It's an Israeli-owned company, and a lot of pressure groups were asking her to back out of it because of the Israeli-Palestinian situation. Here's a cut of the spot.
Like most actors, my real job is saving the world. Start with plain water, add bubbles, mix in the perfect flavor. Look, a soda that's better for you and all of us. Less sugar, less bottles.
So why did this score so well?
The first 15 seconds of that ad are absolutely fantastic. It's kinesthetic. It shows you how easy it is to use that product. That is beyond fantastic. The last 15, it's for the guys and the eye candy and Scarlett Johansson drinking through the straw and all that stuff. It's great.
That does keep you sort of focused.
Well, sure. But for the people that think, what is this SodaStream? Then maybe they've heard of it. They're not familiar with how it works. Well, guess what? We have Scarlett Johansson to show you how to do this. Not a bad thing to look at if you're a dude.
And in the long run, Scarlett Johansson stood by not only the product, but she also had some statements in support of the nation of Israel. All of that controversy probably worked in the product's favor.
Oh, I think so. And she backed out of Oxfam. She was a spokesman for Oxfam, and she severed that tie. So, good for her. Good for her.
Yeah. What else? What about, there's a lot of build-up and hype about the Jerry Seinfeld reunion, and a lot of us thought, oh, well, obviously this is going to be a Super Bowl ad, so there it was. But to me, it wasn't much of a payoff.
Yeah, it's for the thing on Crackle, the comedians in cars or getting coffee or whatever that's called. Yeah, I don't know. If you're a huge Seinfeld fan, I think you're going to follow him anywhere anyway. So their target audience, if these huge Seinfeld fans, people waiting for a reunion, yeah, they were probably happy. I think the rest of us who are sort of nonplussed by that whole thing just kind of went, okay, great.
And finally, the Tim Tebow ad. A lot of people he got a lot of views even before the Super Bowl came along. It shows him doing all kinds of things that, since he doesn't have a contract, he's able to go out and do and save the world. What do you think about that one?
What was that for? Who was the client?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you.
See, that's the thing.
So entertaining, but the payoff has to be for the client, right? One other quick question: if a lot of people tune out, let's say in the last quarter of this game because the game wasn't very interesting, boy, you gotta really hate that if you had your commercial scheduled in the fourth quarter.
Well, did you see the right after the game, Esurance? Have you talked about that at all?
No.
Okay, Esurance came on immediately after the game, the first spot, and they said it was the guy from The Office. I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, Steve Carell?
No. The guy who was married to Pam.
Jim
anyway.
from The Office.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Jim, right. He came on and he said, basically, hey, they said, hey, you want to be in a Super Bowl commercial? And I said, sure. And he said, well, we got the first spot after the game. And he's like, oh, great. So that saved us about $1.5 million. So if you tweet Esurance Save 30 right now, you're entered to win $1.5 million.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's actually
that is a call to action, my friends.
And it gets it going on Twitter. That's a really smart. Of course, I didn't see it because I didn't, like many millions of Americans, I didn't stay up.
Didn't hang around. That's right.
Last night, if you were not in the Pacific Northwest, you really didn't have much of an audience. But
Exactly.
and quickly, the Tim Tebow thing, that's T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
That's
there you
right.
go.
I remember now.
T-Mobile. All right. Listen, Tim Burt, great stuff. Thanks for lending your expertise
no
to this.
contract. I got it.